Here's Brody Brazil.
Dear NHL, I'm here to ask you to come back to Lake Tahoe in 2022 for outdoor hockey games, and also to come back every single February after that. I really do think at this point we have to make outdoor hockey an annual tradition at Lake Tahoe. Now, I know this weekend there were 4 teams, there were 2 games, there was so much planning that went into what we saw. And some of it worked out. I realize some of it also didn't work out. But I'm here to convince you that people really liked it, that you've done so much hard work, you've done the groundwork, you've done the heavy lifting, and that you can also work out these issues to create something special for years and decades to come, something that people are going to appreciate, and something that's going to help grow the game of hockey out here in the West. So 5 things I want to mention, and the first being the delayed games. Both games, Saturday and Sunday, ended up being played at different times than was originally planned. In fact, Saturday they started the game at noon as planned, but then had to finish it and had to resume from the second period on at 9 o'clock at night when the backdrop basically looked like any forest across the western United States. You just couldn't tell it was Tahoe. And that's fine, and I understand what the league was trying to do. They were trying to have an event on television nationally that showcased how beautiful Tahoe is on a blue sunny day. But the optimal conditions for you and I to enjoy a vacation day in Tahoe, that is not exactly what works out best to play a hockey game. You need overcast skies. You need that ice to still be cold and hard and not slushy. And you're also hoping that there's not a ton of sun because sun and ice causes reflections. And with pucks flying around at 90 to 100 miles an hour at people, that's not necessarily the safest environment. Neither is bad ice, like I said. Somebody could have got hurt out there. Actually, on Saturday, I'm glad that they decided to suspend that game until later because that was a difficult decision, but it was also a necessary one. So look, how do you get past all of this? I know what you were trying to do. You were trying to have that game in daylight hours to get all those beautiful aerial shots. I would do it too. But knowing Tahoe well enough over the years, one of the most beautiful times of day is actually at night. It's as soon as that sun goes down over the western ridge of mountains. It's the golden hour, like we say in photography. That golden hour is when you not only get, the crisp white snow, the green trees, the blue lake, mostly blue sky, but it's starting to turn pink and red and purple and all those beautiful colors. That is when you want to drop the puck. You don't have to worry about the ice conditions, glare, reflections. And I think fans would appreciate that even more. And you can have morning skate in the afternoon daylight hours. You can still get all those visuals and take all the photos you want, promote the game that night that way, but actually play it under safe and very scenic conditions at nighttime. And hey, when you get fans back going to these events and games, and more on that in just a second, they're going to want to go to the game. They're going to want to go party at the casinos later that night. It's the perfect setup, right? So think about that. Drop the puck as soon as that sun goes below the western ridge of mountains. It's my suggestion, and I think it's going to work out for you. All right, point number 2, speaking of fans, I realize that the league likely only played these games in Tahoe like this during a pandemic season because they never would have played games like this in front of nobody if it weren't for protection and social distancing. In fact, Gary Bettman was quoted today as saying to the effect that the reason they want to play these games and have these showcase events is to also attract huge numbers of attendance. They want to have a huge crowd. They want to make it a spectacle. They want to take advantage of all the effort, hard work, and what they put into it financially. It costs a lot to ship teams and to build a hockey rink, all the facilities, all the infrastructure. Like, the league probably lost a lot of money to pull this off. Even if all went perfect, they were still going to lose money. This was more about a promotional vehicle. So the point being is that they want to get something back out of it from a business sense. But I'm here to tell you, I don't know exactly what Edgewood draws, the celebrity golf tournament every summer at Tahoe, but that's where you held this hockey game. And they hold the golf tournament over a multitude of days. So you see what I'm doing here? People are certainly capable of coming to Tahoe in large quantities, and you'd have to build up some bleacher sections, or it's going to be all temporary. I understand that, but you could get people there, and more importantly than that, instead of 2 games, what if you put all that hard work in and you played a total of 5 games between 10 different teams, or even if it was 4 different teams and 6 games, 5 different teams and 10 games. I'm spitballing here. Get more out of it. Once you've built it, use it more and gain that large quantity of crowd that way over a multitude of games. People would say, well, is it going to be less special because of that? That's definitely something you have to guard against, like what is too much. But I'm also here to say that if you did 2, like you did this weekend, you could at least easily do 4, and I don't think the effect would be lost one bit. Point number 3, Tahoe is such a perfect venue and destination already. It is set up for exactly what the NHL pulled off. The southern shore of the lake, hotels. It's not far from this golf course, not far from either South Lake Tahoe Airport for private jets, and Reno Airport right over the hill for the team charters and other larger aircraft that need to fly in, equipment and all that stuff. This is a place that's not remote. It's not. I mean, it is secluded, but it's not impossible to get to. The setup here, Tahoe is literally a vacation destination already. And imagine the crowds that you could draw for this. In a place that, some people are already going. You could take advantage of the crowd that's already there, but some people guarantee would specifically get to Tahoe because they want to see this, whether it's their teams playing or not. They want to see this spectacle, especially after you've already now showed it on television for 1 year. They want to be there next year. Point number 4 is that the Western United States needs this. It just needs this. It's to say that traditional hockey markets where it snows, where there's ice in the winter, where, look, I can't go skating in my backyard right now or anywhere outside or anywhere, with the exception of Tahoe, probably, if there's a pond that's frozen enough. And even then, I'm not sure if it stays that way. It's not a traditional, the West does not have traditional hockey markets in the States. It's just the nature of geography and of climate. So the West needs something like this to rally around. And I'm not mandating that you invite the Sharks every year, although I would really like that. But you don't even have to invite all Western teams. I'm just saying the people out here in the West, we love seeing Lake Tahoe represented like that. We love letting the rest of the country enjoy it, but it rallies this region of the country, this half of the country. And I really think that, like I mentioned before, growing the game, this would be part of it. If you're going to play outdoor games, and by the way, this was the 30th outdoor game that the league has pulled off since 2003, but it was the first time they ever did so without the resources of a stadium. So that's what I'm saying. They had to build everything: locker rooms, weight rooms, meeting rooms, training rooms, every possible thing that a team needs, they had to build from scratch. So if you're going to put in that work, use it multiple times, get your money's worth out of it. Because I don't think people are going to complain. You could have Tahoe week. You really could. Ski week. People would watch all those games equally. All right. And last point here is that this is a lot to ask of players, isn't it? Playing outdoors, going to a brand new city. And I know they just hop on the plane, ride the bus, go to the hotel, skate at the rink, and a lot of things are taken care of for the players without even their effort. It's just the nature of being a professional athlete. But it's asking a lot of them to play in this condition, place, setup that nobody's ever used before. and to deal with little small things that may not be the same of what they're accustomed to. Like, if you think playing on the road is tough, this is a whole new level of of a road game, really, for both teams. But beyond all that, to establish that, but beyond all that, the players loved it. Like, I saw a Brad Marchand tweet. Can't believe I'm quoting Brad Marchand here. Loved it. Thanks for the opportunities, what he said to the NHL. So there you go. Everybody who's going to be participating in this is going to love the experience. Like I said, it is asking a certain something of teams and players to go the extra mile, literally, to get to the state line. But if they feel so invested in it and they're totally willing to and wanting to do this, take advantage of that. Give the players something they also want. So again, I think that this weekend could be seen in a lot of different ways, and I understand that there were a couple hiccups, and the league right now might be saying, do we do this again? Do we just call it an experiment and move on? And look, they've already got plans for other things down the road. They've already got commitments, but dear NHL, come back to Tahoe in 2022, and please come back every February after that. I promise you, you won't regret it.